So, good morning and welcome to Fans Banter. Happy Sunday morning to you. There seems to be a little bit of war of words going on between Liverpool's manager Arne Slot and the Hungary national team manager Marco Rossi. Marco Rossi has seemed to take offence to Arne Slot suggesting that Milos Kerkez and Dominik Szoboszlai should be rested for the game that Hungary had at the weekend. It was only a friendly, and Arne Slot suggested that maybe it'd be better for those two players to have a bit of a rest. Marco Rossi seems to have taken offence to this, and he said that he doesn't comment on Dominik Szoboszlai's positional sense for Liverpool when Arne Slot plays him at right back. Look, it all seems to be a little bit of a storm in a teacup. Marco Rossi, the international boss for Hungary, has sort of backtracked a little bit and apologised in a way to Arne Slot by saying that Marco Rossi, speaking about himself, he says, "Who am I?" That he has respect for Arne Slot because Arne Slot manages a big team in the Premiership in England. But he also went on to say as well that, Hungary should be shown some respect for the things that they have done in the past. Anyway, he did say that he rested Kerkez and that he did rest Dominik Szoboszlai. Yeah, he took Kerkez off in the 77th minute and he took Szoboszlai off in the 87th minute. So yeah, a little bit back and forth between these two guys. I think it's a little bit of a storm in a teacup, to be quite honest. But it's a funny thing nonetheless to watch two managers having a go at one another over players' times and minutes and things like that. And I just wonder if some of it is sort of lost in translation. But I do remember club managers trying to dictate to international managers who should play and who shouldn't play and how many minutes they should play. It wasn't so long ago you would hear of players not turning up for international games on, say, a midweek international game, saying that they're injured, but then turning out for their clubs at the weekend. So yeah, just a little interesting thing between Marco Rossi and Slot. The Legends game the other day was 2-2 between Liverpool Legends and Borussia Dortmund. Dirk Kuyt was interviewed afterwards by, I forget who it was now anyway, and he said he hasn't ruled out the Reds winning the Champions League. He talked about the pressure that Arne Slot was under, but he said he did go on to say that the pressure that Arne Slot is under is no difference to the pressure that he was under as a player to win games, and also no different to the pressure that Jurgen Klopp was under to win games at Liverpool. It goes part and parcel with being a manager of a big club that, managers, they get pressure, players have pressure. And if the results don't go your way, that the pressure just going to build and build and build. But Dirk Kuyt hasn't ruled out the chance of Liverpool winning the Champions League this year. He said that in previous years, times Liverpool haven't done so well in the Premiership, but yet they've had some good runs in the Champions League, and famously going on to win it at that famous night that we all just like to talk about. But I won't talk about that. But we all know which one that is. 3-0 down to AC Milan. Brilliant AC Milan team, by the way. And Super Reds come back and beat them in the end. Anyway, yeah, Dirk Kuyt, Slot, pressure is nothing new at Liverpool, but hasn't ruled out the chances of Liverpool winning the Champions League this year. Interesting, Dirk. I actually enjoyed Dirk Kuyt when he was at Liverpool. I thought he was a great player. Well, not a great player, but a very good player. He did really well for Liverpool for the time that he was there. I was actually sorry to see Dirk Kuyt moving on. I really liked him. So, regarding what Dirk Kuyt says, is it possible that Arne Slot could oversee a shock Liverpool Champions League win? Do you know what? I think even the most optimistic of us as Liverpool fans would say this is going to be a very tough call for Arne Slot to win the Champions League. I mean, there's so many good teams left in it. First thing he has to do is to overcome that team that he likes so well, PSG, and that's going to be pretty hard because PSG have flexed their muscles in the French league and made the French league look like a real, I don't know, Mickey Mouse type of thing. Their game against Lens will be postponed, which means they will have a lot more of a rest between games with Liverpool, let's say. It's not the first time that PSG have pulled this trick, and it won't be the last time. And I think some teams in the Champions League themselves will have to start pointing out the fact that, PSG are getting advantages over other teams by having this rest period between these home and away legs, and it's just unfair. I wouldn't call it cheating, but it's really unfair, and it does call into question really the integrity of the French Football League. PSG said it's nothing new that they're following other protocols that the league have set into place to allow French teams, to really do well in Europe. But at what cost? Because it really makes your league look like a joke. Anyway, getting back to Arne Slot, could he possibly be PSG? Well, we know he likes them. Whether he can beat them over two legs, it's very debatable. Look, Liverpool can possibly beat any team in the world on their day over two legs. But I just think their days are far too less frequent than what they used to be. And even if they did beat PSG, would they be able to overcome either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid in another game on top of that? And then to go through to the final, would they still have it in them to overcome Arsenal or possibly Barcelona in the Champions League final? Look, I think that's a lot of big games for Liverpool to have to pull out of the bag in a season that's been sort of really poor in terms of being able to build on good performances. Do you know what? It's highly likely that they could beat PSG over two legs, but still lose the next game against either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid in spectacular fashion, because they just don't seem to be able to build on good performances. But I don't know. Is it possible? Well, of course it's possible. It's possible that Liverpool could go on a run and win the Champions League. Is it likely? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you possibly think that Liverpool could have a shock Champions League win this season? Okay, I'll let you decide on that. I won't make comment on it. Listen, that's it for today. Just a little news roundup. That's Fans Banter.